Hey, what's up guys, it's Alicia here today, and we are back with another video on Sonic Frontiers. So in today's video, we have some more info and some footage of Cyberspace, so no point wasting any time here. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get into the news at hand. Onto YouTube with Sonic Rush. Right, so we're going to begin with some snippets from the Kishimoto interview from IGN. Now, what was in that interview was pretty much what was in the written article, but there were some things actually in that video that wasn't in the article, so let's read it now. Level-based platformers are known to have relatively simple stories and stylized environments. However, we felt that Sonic has the potential to differentiate itself from such tropes. That's why we went for a more serious story and photorealistic visuals. And honestly, this is really great to hear. I'm actually really digging the way Sonic Frontiers is looking. I know people have been a bit iffy on the art style, saying it doesn't look like a Sonic game, and yeah, they've been complaining a lot. But honestly, I really don't mind it. In fact, I actually really like it because it makes sense. The Starfall Islands are not supposed to be something that Sonic is familiar with, not akin to Sonic's world, so it makes sense to have a different art style for it. And to be honest, it's been a very nice fresh event to have something new compared to Forces and Lost World with a very cartoony art style. We implemented weather and time dynamics in order to give the open zone more emotional impact. It can affect the gameplay as well, but never by getting in the way of Sonic's high-speed momentum. Puh, what momentum, am I right? I'm sorry. At certain times of day, there are events that positively affect the gameplay as well. Alright then, so this is actually pretty interesting. So we already knew about the time and weather cycles, but apparently they actually affect the gameplay as well, which is actually pretty cool. I don't know, maybe enemies be more powerful at nighttime or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it is going to be interesting to see this actually in the game. Especially for the other islands, because we have to remember there's a desert island in this game too, so what could happen over there? This is going to be awesome, and I'm interested to see this. Right, then we're done with Kishimoto's interview now. So let's move on to the Cyberspace footage. Right, the footage I'm going to show has been stabilized by Beats to make it more clear so you can actually see what's going on. So thanks a lot for that, Beats. So anyways, play the footage. Yep, and there's the Cyberspace footage right there. So, yeah, there is no denying it now. That is Sky Sanctuary. I don't want to hear any complaining about it now. That is Sky Sanctuary. And I'm going to get a bit negative here. I'm a bit scared for the level design of this Cyberspace stage, is not going to lie. My main issue is that they seem way too linear, man. I mean, all we've seen so far is this Sonic running in a straight line. I mean, the Green Hill footage that we saw, Sonic was bouncing up a spring in a straight line. Then the old Sky Sanctuary footage that we saw, that was once again a straight line. And then with this Cyberspace footage, it seems more like a straight line. I mean, those rails, straight line. And then I know we had that looping rail, but that was still essentially a straight line. There doesn't seem to be any branching pathways, which is definitely a big issue in my opinion. It just seems like we're getting more Forces-esque level design, and obviously Forces really wasn't that great. And in Frontiers' defense, it definitely looks like the controls have been improved from Forces. Definitely nowhere near as much automation as there was in Forces, which is a good sign, but we're still getting these hallways that were in Forces, which is not a good sign. I mean, at least we haven't seen a 2D section, right? Right? Alright, this may be my copium and hopium speaking all at once here, but maybe these are just the first Cyberspace stages. I mean, look at Unleashed. Wintermill Isle Act 2 and Act 1, to be fair, were quite linear stages in the 3D sections. Actually, to be fair, even Savannah Citadel actually too. And those were the first stages, so maybe in Frontiers they get a bit more complicated as the levels go on. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, we've only seen some snippets of the stages, so I don't know, man. But the person who actually provided this footage of the Cyberspace stages actually did clear something up about the length of the stages too, so here we have right here. Yeah, I understand, thanks, but do you know how long these Cyberspaces / Lioness stages... I'm not even going to say it, I'm not even going to say it. Because if it's shorter than the 2 minutes 30 seconds, we are doomed. I put in about 1 minute 45 before my session was done, but I did see someone complete this in about 2 minutes 57 if I remember correctly. Alright then, so this person did actually finish the stage, so I just want to point that out right now. So he spent 1 minute 45 at the minimum in this stage, and he did not get to complete it. But then he saw somebody complete the stage in 2 minutes 57. So here's where my questions start to arise. Which person completed it in 2 minutes 57? Is it from the footage that we saw? Because if so, that isn't giving me much hope because that person was messing up so much, man. I mean, did you see that rail section? They kept jumping off the rails for some reason. I mean, you could literally rail switch. I mean, we saw it in the open world. Just use that, you idiots. So I'm not too sure if that 2 minutes 57 is for this person who kept jumping off the rails, dying. Because if that's the case, then that 2 minutes 57 is going to include deaths, which is not good, obviously. But if it's 2 minutes 57 is raw gameplay and no deaths, then that is fantastic news, man. 3 minutes for a good run of a cyberspace stage. That'd be brilliant, honestly. That'd be a huge step up from Forces, so yeah. But that could once again be my hopium talking, and then that 2 minutes 57 does include deaths, but I don't know. This person does say that they spend 1 minute 45 at least in the stage, so that is sort of longer than a Forces stage at least. Right then, to end this video off, we have another Izuka interview from GamesBeat with some slightly new information. Right, here we have GamesBeat. By the way, ignore the advertisement there. This website was littered with advertisements. It was very annoying, but anyways. GamesBeat. We've seen this grassy area of the island so far. Are there going to be other different looking locations? Sonic Frontiers takes place on the Starfall Islands, that whole world. We're just showing the first island right now. On that first island, we do have these grassy, rolling hills. We also have a waterfall area, a cliff, mountains, and other areas on the island. But yes, on the Starfall Islands, yes, there will be other islands. We can't talk about it right now, but there will be islands that look and feel differently. Alright, so this is good. Now, we already knew that there was more islands, and one of them is going to be a desert, but I like the way Izuka said feel differently, not just look differently. Now, in the last Frontiers video, we did see that Morio Kishimoto did mention there were some loops in some of the islands. So maybe one of the islands will have some loops on it that I can probably just run through and get a bit more speed, because once again, remember, you can upgrade Sonic's speed, so you can actually get faster. Now, like people have speculated a couple of weeks back, we did see some sort of momentum in Sonic's running, so maybe when you actually get faster and then reduce the speed cap, Sonic can actually gain some momentum going through loops and stuff. GamesBeat. Sonic fans can be pretty intense, pretty passionate. Is it scary showing a new game sometimes, especially one like this that's a bit different? Izuka. I'm always interested in how the fans react to the things we announce, the things we show them. They are, as you say, a very passionate group. When we look at the previous games, the first generation was side-scrolling, that classic Sonic gameplay. The second generation was the more modern gameplay from Sonic Adventure on. What we're doing now is taking the next step. This is the third generation, almost. We know we're showing fans something new that maybe doesn't make sense to them yet. We really wanted to think about where we need to take Sonic for the next 10 years. What kind of gameplay do we need to start building out to keep people excited for the future? Sonic Frontiers is our next step for the next 10 years. We hope that fans believe in us and that they enjoy what we're showing them. We're looking forward to when they get to play it and really understand what it's about. Alright, so we already knew about their groundwork for the next 10 years stuff, but Izuka just stated that Frontiers is the start of a new generation of Sonic. I mean, he said that the classic 2D games were the first generation, then from Sonic Adventure and on, he said that's the second generation, but then he said that Frontiers is going to be the start of the third generation. So Frontiers really will be the start of a new era for Sonic, which is brilliant, honestly. I mean, it's nice to have a change from the Meta era, you know, those type of stories. But it really will be nice to see how they can evolve Frontiers for the next 10 years. Could they make the open worlds bigger? Could they give Sonic the adventure formula or something like that? Momentum gameplay? Who knows, man? Anyways, that wraps it for today's video. Right, so we got some more Cyberspace gameplay, and it's looking quite linear, not going to lie. A bit worrying, but I'm hoping, this is my hopium speaking once again. Now, this is just for the first stages. Hopefully it gets better later on. Then Kishimoto confirmed that the weather and time will affect the gameplay of Sonic Frontiers, which is pretty interesting. Excited to see how that plays out. Then we got a rough estimate of the length of the Cyberspace stages. Now, whether that includes deaths or whether it's just a good run of the stage, that remains to be seen. And then Izuka confirms that the other Starfall Islands will feel differently than the first island, not just look differently. And then finally, Frontiers is the start of a new era for Sonic, which is interesting. But what do you guys think of all of this news? Does it make you more excited for Frontiers or even less excited because of Cyberspace or something like that? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. And remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!